You ever wonder what would happen if the moon just up and vanished? Would anything actually happen? Is it even possible? Well, the good news is that it's only the second scenario that's impossible. The first scenario is also impossible, so let's talk about it. The moon is about 238,000 miles from Earth's center. For reference, that's about 30 times the distance from London to New York. So even if you took the most powerful space telescope on Earth and you focused it directly at the moon, the best you could do is magnify the moon to cover about 1/5 of the entire Earth's surface. So there's no way that we could actually see the rest of the moon. We can only see half of it anyway, because the other half is always facing away from us. But if it were any closer, we would be able to see more of it. But what would happen if the moon got even closer, like way closer, as in 238,000 miles closer? That's right. What would happen if the moon fell into Earth's atmosphere? Well, first off, we'd have a lot of problems. People would panic, investors would lose billions, and to make matters worse, gravity wouldn't actually do much to slow it down. See, when an object falls towards Earth, it gains speed as it descends, but that's only because it's getting closer to the planet, not because it's actually hitting the atmosphere. If the moon were hurtling towards Earth at 238,000 miles per hour, it wouldn't suddenly start slowing down just because it was closer to Earth. It would literally fall through the atmosphere like a rock, and it would hit Earth so hard that it would destroy the entire planet. Okay, so the moon can't fall into Earth, and it can't get any closer to Earth without destroying it. Therefore, the only thing that could happen is if the moon just up and disappeared. Well, turns out that would cause some pretty big problems, because the moon affects Earth in more ways than one. Not only is it the reason why we have tides, it is also the reason why Earth is slightly wider at the equator than it is tall at the poles. Basically, the moon is responsible for a lot of the wobbling that happens on Earth, and without the moon, our planet would wobble a whole lot more. Specifically, it would wobble about 60 times more, and that would lead to some serious problems. For starters, Earth's orbit would become a lot more chaotic, with long stretches of time where Earth is either too far away from or too close to the Sun, and since the weather is largely determined by how far away Earth is from the Sun, this would lead to a lot of, well, not so great weather. But perhaps the most noticeable effect would be the disappearance of the tides. Without the moon's gravitational pull, the ocean water wouldn't be able to bulge out as much on the side of Earth facing the moon. In fact, the tides would get smaller and smaller until they eventually evened out. So if you want to see a total solar eclipse, you better do it soon. And if you want to learn more about solar eclipses,